We'll get started in just a little bit. Master Jedi is in a meeting, so he will join us shortly. If you guys could go ahead and spam the AMA in Discord and TG, I would appreciate it. Speak of the devil. How are you, Master Jedi?
Just getting my audio set up. I'm great. How are you folks doing?
Doing good. Are you getting hit with any of the weather yet?
Not yet. I did see the tornado videos yesterday. It was like, holy crap. No, I don't think that's gonna hit where I'm at until later tonight.
Yeah, we got quite a bit of rain yesterday, so
Yeah.
and it's raining today, so we'll see how long it lasts here. North Texas got quite a few tornadoes, so I
Yeah.
had some friends back there that were calling me like, "You're so lucky you're not here anymore." So
Yeah. I caught a video on my TikTok of a tornado ripping through a discount tire and was like, good lord, craziness.
yeah, I mean, at least with hurricanes, you know they're coming, but like with tornadoes, it's just so sporadic and like you have
Yeah.
an idea, but there's no way to really know.
Yeah, well, and then there's what a lot of people that don't deal with hurricanes don't know is that hurricanes throw off tornadoes. So
No, I didn't know that.
so that's the fun part of those is that if you're in the path, generally speaking, you have to be on the lookout for tornadoes as well. So
Wow, that's
super
interesting.
fun. We had a Category 5 come within I think 20 miles of where I live
Oh wow,
a couple of years ago. So it's pretty crazy.
that just reminds me of the movie Twister.
Yeah.
Yeah, giving my age a little bit there, but
Same.
so give them a few more minutes to get in here, and then we'll go from there. I was laughing because I got tagged, so apparently I'm a Pokemon now. That's cool. I'm here.
Nice.
You know, I have seen Ben-Hur Hefe, so I mean, I don't think I was alive then when it came out. I'll have to Google it, but
You were not.
I was not.
I can guarantee you were not.
Perfect. So I'm still not that old yet.
Yeah, I think the thing that gets me are these Gen Z folks. I could be derogatory. I'll choose not to. Who refer to it as the late 1900s.
Yeah.
I just wanted to strangle the ever living shit out of them.
Oh,
The late 1900s.
my kids are like, Mom, what was it like when you didn't have TVs? And I was like, kid, I'm like, we
Oof.
had TVs, thank you.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, it's good times.
Look,
So
just because we had to watch whatever somebody else like was airing at the time and we
yeah.
didn't have all this streaming stuff doesn't mean we didn't have a TV. Like, look, my parents told me I was not allowed on the internet when I was 16, and I bought an external modem and a 100-foot phone cord and stayed up after they went to bed and got on the internet anyway. So
That's awesome.
we had stuff. You just it wasn't as cool as it was today.
I had to explain commercials to my kids. I was like, you know how you have ads on YouTube? It's like that, but for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my God, Mom.
How
They're
did you
really like
survive?
shook. It was funny. It was awesome.
Right on.
All right. So it is 5 after. I figure we'll go ahead and get started.
Yeah, why not?
Might as well. Okay. So on the community side, and sorry, what was that?
I said Hefe, you're hilarious. I'm watching his
I know he's the
watching his
best.
numbers.
So as far as the foundation side, we've finished the LP migration, and so that's been taken care of. Jedi has more information on moving from discourse to circle, so we'll let him talk about that. A proposal, the lock liquidity pool has been taken care of, and that's been locked for another year. Jedi had some magic getting that taken care of, so that's awesome.
Never
And
a dull moment in the world of crypto.
No, never. We are still waiting and talking with the facility deal people. We haven't heard back from the Finance Industry Recovery Fund yet. Like I said, last week, it's not surprising. There's so many things going on with that.
I think they had 500 applications.
Yeah, so I imagine that's going to take a bit of time to comb through.
Yeah.
And then the other application for Binance, I forget what that was called, Master Jedi.
Mm, Most MVB, most valuable builder, something like that.
Yeah, so that's also in progress as well. We haven't heard anything back as far as that goes yet. As far as the community update, I think most people, if you're in Discord, you have noticed we did a level reset. The contest for the first 10 to level 10 has been pretty popular. So there are a few spots for rewards left. So, keep on keeping on. um, it's been good. We have added a couple channels thanks to Renix and Andre. So you will be able to see the Shill Vault. So that's for our Twitter shillers and anyone else to get materials through and to post in there. The habit. The meme channel it's been organized by week now. So you're able to go and look at the post from the previous week. So that's how it will be set up in the future. You'll be able to see who the winners were, and what we would like to eventually do is have like a monthly contest out of those winners, and then eventually a very big one at the end of the year for a nice prize. That was Renix's idea, so pretty awesome. I wanted to give a shout out to Andre. He's been, behind the scenes making videos and stuff for us to use to post. The AMA announcement GIF is from him, and then some of the stuff that's going on Twitter is also from Andre. So I just wanted to appreciate that extra effort that he's putting in, and also with the YouTube AMA stuff that has been very popular, and that's something that he also helps with. So he's pretty amazing. I think for the most part, besides getting Discord reset and everything, that's pretty much it on the community side. If you want to kind of go over your progress report, Master Jedi, we would love to hear you ramble.
Outstanding. Well, let me pull up my announcement, see what we talked about. So, yeah, I'll just give a little bit more details on a bunch of the stuff that we're working on. So, and I want to be crystal clear. We're still working on Circle, but I've heard rumblings. I see conversations all over the place in all of our channels. I want to be clear, like, we're not spending 14 hours a day on Circle, just so everybody knows. We got a lot of other stuff going on. The fun thing I'll get to announce here in just a couple minutes. But one of, like with Pink Sale, and I'll talk about that in a second too, like, nothing's ever easy. It's just the nature of things. Nothing is ever as easy as it seems. So we implemented sign in with Ethereum for Circle, and discovered Circle has not implemented OAuth 2 properly. OAuth 2 is an industry standard for how to deal with federated logins. If you don't use the right password, or if there's an error with your login system, they don't show the error message. Auth0 returns an error message to Circle, and Circle's like, that's interesting, and then just gives you the login page without any indication of to what the error was. So we've been working through how to solve that problem. Last night, I came up with a partial solution. We're still dealing with an issue at the moment that sign in with Ethereum, if you create your Lunar account that way, you don't have an email address. And we're identifying if it's going to be possible to create an email address. The challenge is that once you get redirected to Circle, Circle requires an email address to be in the Auth0 profile. So hope to get an answer on how we're going to handle that very shortly, and then we'll be able to let people into Circles. So that's I'm very excited about having a place to talk about what we're doing that is gated by whether or not you actually possess Lunar. I cannot begin to tell you how joyous that makes me feel inside. So really looking forward to getting that done. Still working on getting the Binance NFT collection unlocked. They're incredibly difficult to deal with. Their support website isn't terribly difficult to deal with. So we're trying to get that unlocked. For people that have their NFTs on Binance, we'll let you know when we can unlock it. I'd like to think that it'd happen this week, but who knows? We've been working on, one of the things that's been a focus for me as technical administrators, making sure that all of our information is correct on all of our channels. So making sure that the token links were pointing to the right Lunar profile. They were referring to the old Lunar address, not the new one. A lot of the information on BSC scan and CoinMarketCap was incorrect. So I've been working on getting that updated, working on getting back into the different channels, usernames and passwords set up so that we can be official on each of those. And getting those accounts verified. So those are all in progress. We've been working really hard to make sure that we're communicating consistently between those channels. Very excited about that. On to number 7. We've been working on requirements documents. We mentioned we came back. There was a lot of work to do. We put a lot of systems in place after the first couple NFT launch attempts to help make sure that we knew what the requirements were on things and that we were doing as much research as we could. As with Circle and pink sale locks and all that crap, you will always come across things as you get towards the end that you didn't anticipate. Our process has left more time for that, so it doesn't screw us during a launch like it did before. So being a DAO, it's important that you folks get to see that process take place and see the work that is done behind the scenes that has nothing directly to do with coding, but everything to do with the success of the coding process. And so we'll post it here shortly in the link so you can go check them out. But if you go to our GitHub, well, actually, let's see if I can pull it up right now while I'm talking. Our GitHub now has a new repo. Apparently you can't talk and type at the same time. Lunar Foundation, there we go. We have a new repo called Requirements, and we've posted the first 2 requirements documents to that repo. You can go in and see their PDFs. You can see exactly what we're working on, how we analyze processes, what we're doing. We want that to be transparent for everybody and to see what we're dealing with. If you have suggestions or comments, feel free to be respectful and help us improve. Please don't use it as an opportunity to create more flack for the team, as everybody's trying to work and get crap done. The 2 requirements documents that you'll see in there are updates to both of our contracts and ultimately moving the blockchain code to development on GitHub so that you folks can see all of the code that's a part of that process. The contract work is work that needs to be done now. Moving to GitHub is less of a priority. So it's something we want to do. We've outlined the reasons why we should do it and why it should be done soon. But given everything else that needs to be done, I don't think it should be done right now. So we'll dig through more of those things and have more discussions about that in the near future. So that kind of works through the old business from my announcement. So new business. We completed an item that was on the old roadmap for Q4, which was the .NET 7 upgrade. We have that finished and rolled out to our development environment. we will roll through to production as we have more features in the pipeline and we're ready to ship that. But that part is done. Again, that was a major line item on the old roadmap. So I just want to point out to people that haven't been here a while, people just tuning in, we are still working to accomplish the goals of the old roadmap, and the ideas and goals that we've been trying to move forward to haven't really changed. We also completed a major refactor, and we touched hundreds of files to reorganize the project around the needs of the Lunar Foundation. So the code base before was organized around the needs of Lunar DeFi Inc. We have completed the update and refactoring of a number of things that needed to change after the DAO migration. I'm very excited about the project setup and how that looks. We now have, when people talk about when's the app done? When's the app going to be done? Is the app done yet? Have you shipped the app? There are actually 4 applications that are part of the system now. There is the Mint app is now separate. And I'll remind people again, that was V1 of the Lunar platform. The Lunar platform, the portfolio management app, a major component of that app was the ability to purchase tokens. There's no difference from a blockchain standpoint on an ERC 721 contract versus an ERC 20 contract. And so you purchase tokens on an ERC 721 contract. That's the first thing that the platform does. The other thing that most people probably don't realize is in all the screenshots for the application, for the portfolio management tool, there was the ability to see your NFTs and purchase new NFTs. So, like, again, I'm going to reiterate, and I'm going to reiterate as often as I possibly can. What we shipped back in July was V1 of the portfolio management app. It just looked different. So we have that. We now have the portfolio management platform as a separate app, however. And the reason I say that is you're probably going to be confused, like, what? You just said it was V1 of the app. Well, moving forward, if minting is going to be a feature that we ship to other NFT creators, then it's probably going to be in our best interest to have the shared code for those things in a shared library, but to have the minting like front end that customers are going to use to mint NFTs also be separate, so that it can be skinned differently for each customer. And so we've broken that out. Very excited about that process. And then there is there's the Mint app, there's a portfolio app, and then there is the admin app. So I guess there's 3 major apps, not 4. And then there's our backend management system. I've been very excited about the work that we've been getting done across the board on the platform to be able to enable all of those things to work. And we're going to have more details on what's left to be done very soon. On to the liquidity pool lock. So the dev team is the ones that wrote the lip. And it passed. No one voted against it. Amazing. We finally got a vote that had 100% assent. Very excited about that. I know it's shocking. Who would vote no against locking the liquidity pool? I assumed there was going to be one, so I'm glad it passed with flying colors. So the second we went to go do that, there was an error on the contract, and it wasn't just like, hey, like it was trying to charge us $200 worth of gas to execute the contract, and there was an error. It was like math underflow. And my first reaction was, WTF is a math underflow. It was very much a Office Space PC load letter. What does that mean? So we got in touch with the Pink Sail team. Our contract auditor happens to be one of the main folks on that team. And they were able to get the contract fixed. We were able to get the contract or the liquidity pool relocked for 12 months. Very excited. So then on to number 13, I mentioned we need improvements to the ERC 20 and 721 contracts. The primary improvement on the Lunar token contract is that we want to break out the development wallet into a separate. Right now, there's just an operations wallet, and everything gets thrown into there. Dev team wants the tax, and I think it's important for everybody to be able to see what the tax revenue specifically set aside for development is. So we're going to drop that in there. We also had MEXC wants to had a requirement when we migrated that they have a wallet that can exceed our anti-whale limits. And so the contract really didn't support separating out exchanges from the anti-whale limits. And so we added them as an internal wallet that is not tenable long term because it may introduce other capabilities that they shouldn't have. So we need to create a new kind of data type on the contract for exchange wallets and track those separately. So we need to drop that in there. And then on the ERC 721, we weren't anticipating being on OpenSea for several months. They kind of dropped their support on the industry and were like, hey, all right. So one of the things that OpenSea deals with are NFTs and royalties and having projects or NFT marketplaces that bypass royalties. They have expectations on their contract of or on their platform on how royalties are handled. And realistically speaking, OpenSea is going to be one of our biggest NFT partners as we make the NFTs multi-chain. And so we need to be able to support what they support. We have until, I believe it was either January or March to support that. So if we're doing contract work, we're just going to go ahead and drop it in there, get it done now. So 14, I announced our requirements documents are on GitHub. And we are continuing. One of the next documents we're working on is our assessment on what's left to be able to have the NFT platform usable by other creators to run their mints. I want to take a second on that process to just continue to reiterate. Token taxes are great in a bull market. They're fantastic in a bull market. In a bear market, if you have to convert that token tax into native coin, in this case BNB, in order to be able to like finance the work that you're doing, it affects the price. It affects the value of the token. And so anything that the Lunar Dao can ship as a product that brings in revenue that does not require exchanging LNR for BNB is a net win for the ecosystem. And I want to make sure that I reiterate that point. Anything that makes BNB and not LNR in this market is a win for everybody. And so you're going to see us be moving the platform forward in a way that generates revenue to pay for things in a way that positively affects the business without hopefully negatively impacting anything else, which means there'll be some effort put into NFT stuff. Not making a new collection right now. We're not doing anything other than trying to build out the platform and target a subset of users where we can get royalty revenue that does not rely on LNR. So you're going to see that moving forward in the document that we put together in the assessment on the minting platform and what's next. You're going to see how we are working to make sure that this thing has legs and keeps moving. And before anybody, I'm sure we'll hear feedback about that. That's fine. But here's the deal at its core. And I've been saying this a lot over the last few days in Telegram. There was a report from CoinDesk that there were 8,000 new cryptocurrencies that were created just in 2021. And so Lunar being created at the end of 2021 fits in that bill. Of those 8,000 currencies, 40% of the market is gone. And so the fact that we are in the 60% and the fact that we have made Herculean efforts in the last, 4 months to stay that way is pretty amazing. And I just want to first shout out to the Lunar Foundation directors for taking that on and helping us keep going. And in all honesty, you folks should be throwing up your hands in applause as well. It takes a lot of effort to stay off that list. And so we're going to be doing what's necessary in this market. Crypto has been in several bear markets. Crypto, not mainstream cryptocurrencies, haven't had many bear markets. Crypto projects haven't had to deal with crypto winters like this before, not like this. There are a bunch of crypto projects out there that have similar fates to FTX, but at a smaller scale. Didn't have process and controls in place, didn't have the things that are necessary to make sure that funds are handled properly. We're not going to be one of those projects. So first off, if you're out there looking for us to be the next one of those, and your primary focus is to be the gotcha crew, you might as well spend your time somewhere else, because it's not going to be us. I wouldn't be here if it was. I'm a professional developer. I have a career doing this crap. I'm here to build. I'm not here to screw around. I'm not here to waste time. So along those lines, if 40% of the market is gone, wiped out, everybody's down. We get it. We understand. Nobody's really thrilled about what's going on in crypto in general. Our communication channels are not a place to whine about that. They're not a place to hassle the developers and give the developers a hard time. We're all here working. And I may get flack on CMC or whatever for coming in and chatting in the channels. If the code's building, I'm going to come in and say hi. Code's compiling. If I'm working till 3, 4, 5 in the morning for you folks on a normal day, I'm going to come in and chat with the people that want to come in. I'm not going to apologize from some of these comments on CMC or whatever for that. People are just looking for reasons to get upset. Here's the thing. We're moving forward. And I'm going to finish my rant by saying this project continues to move forward in major ways. Developers are continuing to work as efficiently as possible to deliver things that are going to keep this company running for the long haul. This is not a project. This is not an experiment. This is not a fly-by-night thing. We're here to stay. And if you haven't seen that by now, if you haven't gotten that message at this point, I don't know what to tell you. But I'm going to waste my time on convincing people of that a little bit less. And want everybody's feedback. I want feedback. Keep it constructive. Let's keep it focused on winning and not on complaining that you've been losing. And that's my time. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Master Jedi. And like I said, everyone loves your rants. They always have just, very bullish information. It's one of my favorite parts of the AMA. I know everyone loves hearing me laugh awkwardly and talk about the community, but we really appreciate you, Master Jedi, and everything that you're doing. I get to see glimpses of how hard you guys are working, and I personally think it's amazing that you even find the time to come in and chat with everybody and answer questions directly. Because, there's not a lot of people in a business at this level that would take the time to do that. And it should be appreciated and not questioned, in my opinion. So thank you for that. I will go ahead and hit the AMA questions channel.
Well, I just want to similar for a sec. I'm all about questions. That's why we're here, right? Question the process. If you want more information on what we're doing, ask. There's a difference between questioning or having questions about the work and questioning our resolve our intentions, our whatever, right? We've clearly outlined we're here to inform, we're here to help, and we're here to move the industry forward. We've clearly outlined that our intentions in this are and always have been above board. So like I get where everybody's mindset's at right now. Feel free to get a therapist. Feel free to ring somebody up. There's a bunch of apps on your phone. You can pay $100 for an hour. Get a therapist. Don't make me your therapist. I got code to do. So
That's fair. I mean, and if they are, then you should probably charge per hour because that's pretty normal. So
I mean that's I'm fine. We can do that. We can have the Master Jedi cryptotherapy sessions.
I mean, sounds like it would be a good solution. Um, let's see. So for AMA questions since last week, let me see. That would have been from the 7th. So, first one on here. So it looks like Travers has asked about the NFTs. So those ones we are working on. So Master Jedi, we've talked about that a couple times in the AMAs. Those were in progress and they are working on getting, those things completed. So we do have a list of the members of the community that are owed one, and those once they are completed, those will get handed out. So that is something that is going to be taken care of. It's just in progress at the moment. I haven't started new faction competitions, not because I don't plan on it, just because I don't want to start something and not be able to deliver what is promised. So we're just waiting for, when the opportunity comes back, and we will have the faction contests in new ways, or, honoring some of the traditions, but they will be happening eventually. Let's see. So Hefe had asked, he had said, great update on 12.12. I particularly like the bit about the .NET 7 being done, implemented, and is now in the toolbox for the dev team, as well as the Auth 2 marketplace part. How is the price set for the marketplace bit, assuming we are accepted? Val had already answered this. He said the marketplace is a misnomer. It's a selection of apps that you can use when using Auth 0. Typically, it's free. So that was the answer for that.
Yeah, it's more just so everybody knows. It's more about like getting our name out there and making sure that again when we build, I always try to make sure that we can ship as many things in different arenas as we can, so that you've heard about us. And so like it's about putting things on npm, the node package manager, so that when you search for Lunar Foundation or you search for lunar.io or whatever, like you see us coming up in different places. It's about making sure that we are moving Web3 forward. And what you're going to see next, and I've already heard rumbles, we've talked about this for a year, and now I'm starting to hear it in other places, that Web3 is really starting to focus on Web2 plus blockchain. So like the more places that we can integrate concepts that are already familiar to non-crypto people, the better off we are. And so having us be, with there are only 7, if I remember, integrations with Auth0 that have anything to do with Web3. So having the Lunar logo and us be one of those things in the marketplace that you can pull down and integrate with, really important to help spreading the word about what we do. So no cost involved there, no revenue involved there, but you have mind share that comes from that, which is priceless. So
I feel like that's definitely worth it. And anytime we can get our name out there, especially to, like-minded individuals, I think that's a great opportunity.
yep.
So Jack had a question. So he goes, even if you can gate circle with a lunar requirement, couldn't fighters just buy one lunar? They probably could, but
Yes.
yeah, but
But
sometimes people are lazy.
yeah, I mean, here's the thing about it. Like, Telegram's a very low barrier to entry. Discord's a very low barrier to entry. Like, realistically speaking, this is not derogatory in any way, but I mean, like, there's a correlation between volume and bag size, and there's a correlation between ease of entry and the amount of effort people put into a community. So I love all our community members. I want everybody to be to have the ability to speak and whatnot. At the same time, like I don't want people just jumping into the community and causing problems for no reason. So while that is true, yes, fudders could just do that. If you are a token holder, you have skin in the game. And if you have skin in the game, I want to have a conversation. If you don't have skin in the game, I really don't want to waste my time. And it's not because I don't want to talk to every human or I don't want to expand the ecosystem or whatever. It's because I got crap to do. I got stuff you guys want me to build, so I need to be able to focus my time and attention. And we're going to focus that on the governance portal and on moving the platform forward. And in my head, your involvement in the governance portal, you're seeing the roadmap, us having a new way to look at the roadmap and discuss the roadmap and keep you involved in what's going on is how we move this platform forward. That's another reason people are like, well, you're spending all this time in Circle. Yeah, because that's where we're going to communicate what's going on in the future. It's not going to make it to the website till it's been discussed in the government's portal first. So that's why we're spending time there.
See, I don't see any other questions in AMA questions. If you guys have anything, go ahead and put them in there, or you can ask in main. Just tag me so I don't miss it. And then we'll go ahead and get to any questions in the audience if you guys have anything. Anyone so far? I don't see anyone yet. Do you?
Nope, no hands raised so far.
Let's see.
Toasty.
Yeah.
Hello. Just a short question actually for people like myself that don't actually fully understand what the .NET 7 implementation fully means for Lunar right now.
So the big thing, there's a number of features that .NET 7 brings to the table. The big thing is performance. And that's, just to be clear, there were questions about it before. That's not just for the .NET blockchain. There was a lot of work done to make Blazor faster, which means that the app itself loads faster. It's going to run faster. There's support now for basic support for multi-threading, which means that the app can do more than one thing at a time and do stuff in the background. Those are going to be critical for making the app more responsive as we add more token purchasing capabilities and more of the Omni wallet to the platform. There was also a number of improvements to how the technology called Signal R works. So Signal R was how we were able to keep you updated as the different blockchains were doing their work. We had to engineer workarounds because those processes couldn't return data. They could only they're basically two-way triggers. So I could trigger something happening on the front end, and then the back end would get the trigger, and then the back end could send another trigger to the front end, and then it would play ping pong back and forth on this. Well, they've simplified it so where if I call a function, it can return more information. That's going to make it easier for us to be able to do things, makes the code base simpler. As WebAssembly moves forward, just so everybody knows, like Blazor was not just about the .NET blockchain and being able to run the blockchain nodes in WebAssembly. The app also runs in WebAssembly. So any improvements to that WebAssembly infrastructure immediately affect the application. And so .NET 7 included a new platform called MAUI, MAUI. If I remember correctly, yes. And it's a cross-platform application framework that's going to make it easier for the same portfolio management app, the exact same code, to be deployed on the desktop, on the website, and on your phone. And so that being shipped is going to mean that we can spend a lot of time making sure that we have the wallets the way we want them, that we can build ultimately, I want a browser extension for the Lunar Omni wallet so that you can use it in the browser just like MetaMask. We want all those things in place. .NET 7 is going to help us get there. And now that .NET 7 is shipped, we've got time to have our platform delivered to the point where we can get on the .NET 8 marketing train. So .NET 8 is going to ship next November. I've got contacts with the marketing team, and I would like to be able to, when Microsoft announces .NET 8 and they have full support in Blazor for multi-threading, and we're taking advantage of all their cool features, that we're part of their launch. So getting .NET 7 out of the way clears the path for me to be able to focus on those things that are necessary in order to make that happen. Am I promising that we're going to be part of the launch? Hell no. But we're going to do our best to try. So that's some of the benefit to the community. Hope that helps.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I always appreciate you, Toasty, and appreciate your help on the forums and all that good stuff.
Likewise.
All right. Anyone else so far? I don't see anybody. Any questions in main? Oh, AMA has one. No, it doesn't. Okay. Something. I don't see anything else. Anyone else have anything that you guys would like to ask, or anything that has triggered kind of a question in there since the recent conversation? I am not seeing anything.
I haven't
No.
seen anything either.
Okay. Going once, going twice. Okay, so I guess that concludes our AMA for today. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And of course, thank you, Master Jedi. I know you're extremely busy, and we appreciate you taking the time to go over everything and answer questions. So,
No worries. I appreciate everybody.
sounds good. All right. Again, thank you guys. We appreciate you. Have a wonderful day.
You too.